Hi, my name is Ella Bryson, and this is my documentary analysis. For this assignment, I have chosen the documentary, the program Cons, Cults, and Kidnappings. This documentary was released earlier this year by Catherine Culper. She was taken to this academy, the Academy of Ivy Ridge, where she underwent, and many other people underwent, very abusive tactics of coercion, violence, physical and psychological, and many, many more. The central thesis of the program Cons, Cults, and Kidnappings is the certain programs for troubled teens and young adults that are exploited vulnerable individuals through manipulation, abuse, and deception. This documentary in particular exposes how these programs engage in coercive and control tactics, isolating them from their families and the outside world, and subject them to so much physical and psychological harm under the guise of therapeutic treatment. This is the dark side of being vulnerable. We all hate it. We all hate being vulnerable. We all hate into new places with new people. And that's exactly what these students went through, except they were taken from their home by men in black and driven in a bus to a random location they had no idea of because their parents wanted them to get help because they were troubled, because they were smoking, because they were drinking, because they were having sex, because they were teenagers. One humongous piece of evidence were the testimonies from survivors. Um, Former participants in these programs who are literally recounting the abuse they faced in this program in the exact place they experienced it. They go back to Ivy Ridge and they count everything they remember of abuse, neglect, everything in the place it happened, which is truly so strong and brave of them. That is something not a lot of people can do. Experiences of being subjected to harsh discipline, forced labor, and emotional manipulation. And one interviewee who truly moved me was Blake, who describes how he was physically restrained and for like extended periods of time for minor infractions like smiling or slouching in a chair or looking out a window. Another humongous piece of evidence is just the overall examination of business practices and lack of oversight in the quote troubled teen industry. There is a huge profit coming from troubled teen industry that is literally just abuse towards children and young adults. And this documentary highlights just how these programs operate without regulation or accountability and allow them to continue exploiting vulnerable individuals with little consequences in the end. And for instance, the filmmakers uncover instances of neglect, including deaths that resulted from inadequate medical care and physical violence. There are so many people who have gone through this program in specific and many programs like it in the United States and have not lived to see the outside world again. And all these stories are being told by these individuals who went through them themselves, who lost friends, who lost loved ones. And there have been a significant amount of people who have committed suicide because of the things that they experienced. The program Cons, Cults, and Kidnappings presents a compelling argument that these programs are engaging in unethical and harmful practices, highlighting the need for greater oversight and regulation in the troubled teen industry. I encourage any of you guys who are interested in learning more about these amazing people's stories. There are literally so many stories being told throughout this whole documentary from people who experienced it firsthand. To go watch it. It's on Netflix now. It is made by the survivors of Ivy Ridge, and it is truly a moving piece of cinema. So please go do that and have a good weekend.